Well, yesterday was the first day my kids went back to school for summer break.
How do you feel
So,
about that? Are you like,
oh, I can finally work again. It was my son's great. He's 12 and he can be very self can do things for
oh,
himself. My
boys?
daughter, she's 9 and she's still so dependent and needs constant entertainment. And so trying to work during the summer when she's home
Good
is
luck.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can get my 8, 9 hour days back in. Yes.
Does she enjoy sewing or watching mom sew?
She does. She made her first quilt last year,
Awesome.
and we're working on her third quilt now.
Awesome.
So yeah, she loves it. It was amazing when she made her first quilt. I didn't have to tell her how to do anything. She just sat down. She knew how to use the machine, use the iron, and like, oh my gosh, you have been studying me
That's
for
that's
years.
that's a good feeling. I don't know if I feel great about that or bad about. Well, in your case, it's probably great. But if
It
I,
was so impressive in the moment, but I'm like, it is a reminder that you really have to watch what you're
that's what
doing
I'm
because they
saying.
are watching.
Yeah, yeah, your kids are watching you. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always tried to be a good influence at home. I'm not sure I've always succeeded to the level that I've wanted to succeed, but all right. So tell me, start off by telling me your name, and exactly how you got involved in sewing, quilting, crafting, or the projects or the like thereof.
Sure. So my name is Erin Grogan of Love So Modern, and I started sewing when I was in the fourth grade. My grandmother was a professional seamstress in Boston, working in a factory making clothing. And during the summer, she would come and stay with us, and she and I would make my wardrobe for the following school year. So that's how I started to fall in love with sewing. And then when I had my second child, my daughter, found quilting because I was looking at the time I was making outfits for her, but it was really hard to find fabrics, clothing, apparel fabrics to make her things. And so anytime I was out of the house, I would just type fabric in my GPS and go wherever it took me. I ended in a lot of upholstery stores, heartbroken. But then one day I found quilt shops and I fell in love with it and I stopped making clothes and I became obsessed with quilting.
Nice. So you're from the New England area.
Well, my family's from New England, but I have lived most of my life in Virginia.
Well, that's funny because I am from, I was born and raised, I was born in Virginia, Lynchburg until I was like 3. And then I moved to New England. I was in Worcester, which I'm sure you're familiar with
Yeah.
Worcester. Worcester?
Worcester.
Yeah, Worcester. Yeah. When I first moved down to Florida, it was in 1987. I used to tell people, man, that's a wicked nice car. They're like, what? That's a what? But yeah, I was still at that impressionable age where I lost all of the, when you're from, and only people from New England know this, every 30 miles is a different dialect of car. So it's ka, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
yeah, but I love it up there, and especially this time of year is the most beautiful time of year in New England. So I do miss that, but I don't miss the brutal colds and the hey, we need oil and I don't miss all that. But anyways, yeah, small world. So okay, you got involved with quilting, and then you started making your own pattern because you were so passionate about it, right?
Yeah, so I was working a corporate job and absolutely hated it. And I was spending every free moment I had sketching little ideas in the corner of my notes. And then finally in January of 2020, my husband and I agreed that I could quit my job and focus on this full time. And so then I built my business where I started designing patterns and traveling to teach quilting all over.
So, question number one: were you doodling at work with
Oh
these?
yeah.
Did you ever get caught? Once or twice, right?
Oh, that they didn't mind. They didn't mind that. They knew what I did on the side. I was known. So I used to stay up late every night before going to bed, making my outfit for the next day at work. So every day I came in with a new handmade me outfit, and so everyone was always checking in. And then when I got into quilting, I used to hang quilts up in my cubicle. So everyone knew what I was
Oh,
doing.
very cool. By the way, I was just kidding on that, but I do think that's funny. That's fantastic. Okay, so how many patterns do you have out as of right now that are specifically yours? Aaron's patterns, how many do you have?
Yeah, so I have about 20 patterns listed on my website of individual patterns. And then I have my book that I wrote, which has 15 patterns in it as well.
Wow. So a total of ballparkish 40.
Yeah, around 40 for that. And that's not counting all the magazines and other one-off things I've done as well for other companies. So
Wow.
yeah.
Have you ever thought about or have you ever done um quilting trade shows? Because I know I do Houston we do about 60 trade shows a year. Houston's one of our largest ones. And there's a guy there that came up with this. I forgot, I wish I would remember his name, but he makes like design animals like elephants and dragons and stuff, and he does it with fabric. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Yeah, yeah. Are you talking about
it's festival, Houston Festival. So
yeah,
I guess my question is, have you ever thought about doing trade shows or done anything?
I've done some local ones. Um And my hope is one day I think I want to do QuiltCon because I think that would be really good. That'd be my audience. I think would really do well there. I've gone to market before for my book, and that was great. So yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if the only reason I was asking that, I wasn't sure if you were familiar with that, but I do know that's how a lot of people get themselves out there and along with doing podcasts and things of this nature as well. But do you have any dumb question? I'm going to ask you anyways. Do you have any samples that are handy nearby you that you can show people how it looks on fabric?
Yeah.
I
So one of my favorite patterns and one of my most popular patterns, it's called Apparently It's a Party because it's a fun pun. And
Apparently it's a party. Is that the name of it?
yeah,
Very catchy.
apparently it's a party.
I like it.
So it's hard to see, so we're up close. I brought the cover as well so you can see the whole thing.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I taught on a quilting cruise to the Caribbean and I had to design a project for it. And so I took inspiration from the colors of the Caribbean, all those they have really colorful houses and buildings everywhere, and I incorporated that into
It
parrots.
is beautiful. My only disappointment in that whole statement that you just made is that I was not invited on the cruise.
Oh, you should have come. It was an
I,
amazing time.
I've heard so many great things about quilting cruises from so many people. You just go out there, you have a blast, and you're on the water, and you get to stop place to place. But then when you're on the boat, you get to really enjoy, learning about the quilting, the quilting industry and how
Yeah.
things are done differently. But I've heard a lot of good things. I think they have one that goes to Alaska that's beautiful too, that I've heard about.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing that I would love to do eventually. But that's beautiful. So apparently, one more time, apparently.
Apparently, so like apparently, but they're parrots.
Apparently, yeah, yeah.
So apparently, it's a party.
Apparently, yep. I love it. I
And
love
then,
the spin on that too. That's so cool.
yeah.
That's a
And
genius.
then my most recent pattern I came out with, it's called Gizmo. They're owls.
Oh, very cool. And you just in your head, you just come up with this and you kind of sketch it out on paper and you keep doing it until it works out. That's
Yeah, I love drawing. Um,
Most artists are really good quilters. Sorry for interrupting, but
yeah.
most artists are incredible at quilting. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I went to a visual and performing arts school, and then in college, I started off in graphic design. And then I switched halfway through to public relations. Was I don't know. I got talked out of it, and I regretted getting talked out of it. And so I've kind of found my way back to my art side through quilting.
Oh, very nice. So obviously your husband's very supportive, from what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's excited, thrilled with the way that it's taken off, huh?
Oh yeah. He's been my number one cheerleader. Um, he never tells me no to anything. I get an idea of something I want to do, somewhere I want to teach, and it's like, okay, let's make it happen.
Yep, I'm guilty of that with my wife. I never tell her no about anything. I'm like, yep, yep. Even sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, it might not be a good idea, but I'm like, okay, honey, let's try it. But she's usually right in her defense. When I
Yeah.
usually think that I'm right, I'm typically wrong, and she's usually right. So I have to give her credit where credit is due when it comes to thinking things through thoroughly and making the right decision. She's typically right, but don't tell her I said that. Hopefully she won't. Um, no, but that's fantastic stuff. Okay, A couple other things that I wanted to ask, and because I would like one of the reasons why I do this, and I think I already shared this with you off screen, but I'm gonna share it with you on screen so people know. One of the reasons why we do these is I have a huge following. When I say me, I'm not talking about Dave Martelli necessarily. I might have a little one, but Martelli Enterprises and what we do, we make revolutionary products. So we have all these people that quilt that love our stuff. And Lisa's probably pretty much the only one that we have here that does projects and stuff like that. And her time's really full. So I like to introduce my audience to quilters out there that they might not have never met, or they may never have even heard of them. And I want them to know who you are. And like return, how it benefits Martelli is, kind of like we just discussed at the very beginning. I said, hey, did you get the products we sent you? Yeah. Did you like them? Because I want your following. I want them to know who Martelli is, because our tools are revolutionary. They're game changing. They're ergonomic specialty products for
Yeah.
sew and quilt. So that's one of the reasons why I do this. Now, with that being said, without me rambling on too long, I want you to tell people um, where can they find you? Where can they find the patterns that you do? And how do they get in touch with you? Is there an email or something of that nature that people can get in touch with you? So the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my website is lovesew, spelled SEW, modern.com. And my email is hello at lovesewmodern.com. Um, and I'm most active on Instagram, so they can connect with me there. And my username is lovesewmodern. So just Love So Modern absolutely everywhere.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And do you have if somebody wants to get a hold of Erin, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, the best way is through email, because Instagram hides things if you're not following people. And so sometimes, and they don't show you sometimes until like weeks later. So I find a lot of messages way long after people have sent them. Um, or if you want to socialize with me, I'm very active on Instagram.
Very, very cool. And likewise, if I'm talking to your audience out there, and you've shared
Yeah,
this video,
yeah,
we are Martelli Enterprises. It's the website is Martelli Notions, MartelliNotions, MartelliNotions.com is our website. We have a really fun group, and I don't know if you know this. I don't think I told you this, but we have a really fun group on Facebook. It's called Martelli Quilters Group.
okay,
It's where we launch a lot of our new products. And it's really cool because it's kind of like an inclusive group, although I let just about anybody on. Some people I don't, but majority of people that answer a few questions, I let them on. And one of the great things that I love about this, it's not just a sales platform. Yes, there's sales, but it's very minimal. So a lot of the platform, it shares tips, tricks, techniques that people do. And if
fun.
somebody has a question, they go on there because you have different skill levels. You've been in quilting a long time. You might
Yeah,
tell a newbie, and you might tell them a scant, and they're like, "What's a scant?" Or might use
yep,
a term that they might not know. But this, what Martelli Quilters Group is, a place where you can feel comfortable, where you can go and ask a question, or hey, how do you do this, or what's the easiest way to cut bias, or how can I sew a curve together easier than what I'm doing it now. And so these are just some fun things that we can share. And it's real simple to get there. You just go to Facebook, you type in Martelli Quilters Group, and then you ask to join. You just answer a few questions, and then I'm pretty much the one that accepts you. Um, I never since day one, I think we've had it 8 or 9 years. I've never since day one allowed people to go on there and turn it into a flea market. Hey, I've got this for sale. And a lot of those sites do that. I don't
yeah,
allow it. I don't allow it because that's not really what the group was intended for.
yep,
Now, if I have a new product with my company, I'll introduce it there to give the best prices. But
yeah,
so it's just I don't want people to go there thinking it's a flea market because that aggravates some people sometimes. No, this is really where you can go learn quilting, the art of quilting. But that's Martelli Quilters Group. You can find us there. And then also we have a YouTube channel, Martelli Notions. Really cool. It goes into great detail about all our products. That's a place that you can learn how to use our stuff. So I always like to tell people that if you want to get a hold of me, Dave Martelli, or anybody at Martelli Enterprises, we have a directory there. You can reach out to support. Hey, I need Mr. Martelli or Dave Martelli, whatever. I've been called all kinds of things. Uh, leave a number and then I can reach out to you that way too. But very interesting. Is there anything else? I love the pattern. Is there
Thanks.
anything else that you have that you want to share with us? Is there anything else that you want the world, the quilting world, to know about Erin?
Yeah, so I am a designer, but I'm also an educator. So I travel all over the world teaching and lecturing about quilting. So if you visit my website, lovesomodern.com, at the top there's a section for classes and workshops. So quilt shops and guilds can book me.
Sorry to cut you off again. Say that website again a little bit slower because I don't think
Sure.
we picked it up that well. Go ahead, say it again.
Yeah, it was lovesomodern.com.
Lovesewmodern.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That way, make sure everybody knows if they want to come visit you. And then you were saying something else after that, and I kind of stopped you because I was trying to get
Yeah.
the site in there. What were you saying?
Yeah, so if any guilds want to bring in teachers or lecturers, I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things. Most commonly known for teaching curves, it's my love, which is why I wrote a whole book on curves, um, retro curve piece quilts, and inside is 15 patterns, including this one behind me. It's called Retro Blooms. And also just instructions on 3 different techniques for sewing curves and raw edge applique and just all kinds of fun projects.
This is a really dumb question. Did I ever give you my presser foot that sews curves together? Did I even tell you about that?
Yeah, so I just got that. I had to order a low shank foot or whatever for my Bernina. And so now that I just got that in, so I'm excited to play with that.
So if you this is just off topic, I'm sure people see this, but if you have any questions, just call me. I'm a master at it. I can do it with my eyes closed. I
Yeah.
remember so years and years ago, I'm an old man now, but years and years ago when I was a young kid, I was like 21. I never sewed a day in my life. We got into this
Yeah.
industry by accident, you know. My grand it's a long story, I'll tell you off screen, but my grandma was like, make some curtains. My dad was like, curtain. My dad's a mechanical genius. You know, we have $1 million 3D printer, so he designs all this stuff.
Oh,
So
cool.
the reason why I'm telling you that is I remember when I was a young kid, 21, 22, 20, I don't remember exact age, but I'd be going to these trade shows and we only had 4 products back then. This was in 98. Um, yeah, 23. We had a CurveMaster presser foot, the one that does curves. We had a quick bind. It's a presser foot that does binding top and bottom with straight to the grain,
Oh,
which I'm the
nice.
only one in the world that can make that thing work perfectly, and I don't have time to teach everybody. The CurveMaster is a lot easier to use, so I can teach everybody that one.
Yeah.
We had the cutting mat and the rotary cutters. So I remember as a young kid, I'd go to these shows and I would cut convex, concave, what do they call them? Convex, concave circles, and I
Mhm.
would the inner
Yeah.
and the outers, and I would cut them. I cut them like before the day started, and I'd have them that thick because all I did was to demo over and over and over and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over again, and I could do a curve in about 2 seconds with no pinning, no easing, and no clipping, and I could
Yeah.
down one direction, and it was perfect curves every single time. So at the end of the day, I would have all these sample pieces done, so I could literally do a king size quilt from start to finish. I used to tell people that when I was demoing, and they'd be like, "Yeah, right," and I'd be like, "Yeah, right. This was today," and like, "This is done today." I said, "I just showed you a curve in 2 seconds." And they go, "Man, that's something else." But it's literally the way the foot is designed, and I'll just kind of explain it to you before we go
Yeah.
up there. And I think I've explained to you before, but the bottom of the foot has 2 skis. So every machine in the world has 4 feed dogs. Your domestic machines, the feed dogs do this, and it does this. It smashes your fabric against the roof and it pushes it forward. It smashes and pushes. Well, the foot right there, I'll do it this way. The foot is hollow. So although the feed dogs are up and although they're engaged, it doesn't put pressure on the fabric, so it can't move it. So
Mm.
it's like running in it's like running on a treadmill. So you're running, but you're not moving, right? So
Yeah.
it's not moving the fabric. But under this ski over here, so the foot's like this. Under this ski, there's a feed dog, and under this ski, there's a feed dog. Well, the fabric is only under this feed dog, and there's no fabric underneath this feed dog. So the foot is basically sewing like this. That's how the foot's sewing. It's like you're sewing on the inside of a tunnel. You can't mess up. The only thing that you can do, if you wanted to mess up, you can't. The only thing that you can do is where it messes up is make sure the edges are not perfect, and then you have to go back and square it up. But once you do it a few times and you figure out at the speed at which is convenient for you. So what I do is I put on a stitch length, if I remember correctly, it's like 2.5,
Hmm.
and I put the machine probably on half the speed until I got it. It probably took me about 2 hours, maybe an hour. But once I got it, I could put that sucker on full speed. and they all the ends match up perfectly. And I never had a screw. I'm not saying once in a while I wouldn't mess up, but for the most part, all my edges lined up perfectly. So you just have to learn not to stretch the material because I would use what we call lobster claws. So I would hold my convex like this and I would hold it up and I would hold
Mm,
my concave like this and I would hold it
yeah,
up so I could see underneath the fabric and I would move the fabric together with my fingers. As I
yeah,
did that motion, I could get faster and faster and faster until I got it down where I never stretched the material. Because sometimes when you're learning the foot, you're tugging on one more than the other, and it makes the ends. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah,
It's not line up. But once you realize, because like when the feed dogs do this, the presser foot also does this too, right? So as that presser foot is going up and down like this, it takes the pressure off, so you can actually move the fabric without stretching it all. Once you
nice.
learn that and feel that as you're doing it with the CurveMaster, you can fly with those. Fly. Like I
Nice.
go against, I haven't done it in probably 15 years. I'll go against anybody in the world doing curves. It's not me, obviously. It's the product that allows you to do
Yeah.
that. Just things like that that we've spent a lot of time developing. That's called the CurveMaster. If anybody's watching this and you want it, you can go on the website, martellinotions.com. We have two of them. So you've done garments. So we have
Mhm.
inch and we have the 5/8, I think it is, the 5/8.
Yeah, I thought that was really smart that you did that,
Yeah, yeah. For people that
actually.
do
Yeah.
garments, like pockets, shoulders, collars, sleeves, you need that bigger
Hmm.
part. But it works the same exact way. It's just on the foot. It has a larger seam allowance for you. So,
Yeah.
but if you're quilting, you want the 1/4 inch. It's called the CurveMaster, and we even have really good tweezers that go with it. Now, here you want to hear something really cool?
Hmm.
As a quilter, if you use a CurveMaster and you get really, really good at those curves, you do not have to move your foot. You do not have to adjust your foot. It does the world's best 1/4 inch straight seam. So
Nice.
as you're doing your curves, you just turn around. Once you get them all pieced, bring it back in and run your straight seams because the 1/4 inch is a 1/4 inch and it works the same way. You just keep it against your 1/4 inch guide and you run your straight seams. So it's really fascinating and we've done really well with that. But cool that you do curves. I thought I remembered that and I thought I told you, but I wasn't 100% sure. Miss Erin, thank you for being so gracious with your
Yeah,
time. We sure do appreciate you. And maybe next time you come on, you can bring your lovely daughter and she can tell us about the 3 quilts that she made. How's that sound?
that'd be awesome. She'd love
Perfect.
it.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss Erin. We'll talk
All
soon.
right. Bye. Thanks for talking.